Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Amway. It is great to be with you. If you'll indulge me for a minute, there are some of our colleagues that are not here at corporate headquarters at offsite locations, so I'd love to do a shout out to them. If y'all will turn around for a second, you can wave, just say hello to all your colleagues in the field. Hello, hello. And hopefully y'all are waving back. I am a firm believer in the notion that when we win together. And so excited to be with you today to talk about the power of strategic communications in business, because the reality is that everything we do or say communicates something. Or I could say everything that we don't do or don't say communicates something. So think for a minute, as you were growing up, what was your favorite TV show? And I'm thinking specifically about those TV shows that have heroes in them. What do you think? I've given you a couple thoughts on the screen, so what were your favorites? The Dukes of Hazzard? Wow. Haven't thought about that one in a long time. It was interesting. I was always drawn to heroes growing up. I always wanted to be the good guy, to make a difference. And one of the things that I realized is that communications done effectively is a way to make a difference. So, with that as a foundation, let me give you 3 fundamentals when it comes to communications. And the first is that everything you do communicates. And it's not just about what you say, but it's more so about what you do, who you reward and recognize, how you spend your time. Everything sends a message. And this is a case where the Nike slogan, which I love, just do it, does not apply. You either can wing your communications and see what happens, or you can be purposeful with a specific outcome in mind and understand the audience and have a much greater chance at being more effective at delivering your message. And if there's only one thing you take away from today, I hope you'll take away the notion of being purposeful, that effective leaders are purposeful in their communications. But only we can help our employees understand their job, how they're doing. Only we can really show them in a really personal kind of way. Does someone care about me? And what hopefully you get the sense of this is, it's a reminder that communications is everyone's responsibility. We can't leave communications to the communications team, as terrific as they are. We all play a role. The reality is there is no one that is more influential than us as leaders when it comes to influencing our teams. Employees will tell you that in a heartbeat. Why is that? Because we customize information or not? We create dialogue or not? We translate this stuff from on high that sometimes has corporate speak in it. I don't know if you have that here at Amway. But we help translate and help people make sense of and interpret. We help them interpret what's going on so that we can get them focused on what they need to get done, but not just their job, but all of the organizational goals. So those are the 8 key questions. And I'm hoping it's helpful to you as you start to think about, what do your employees need? How do you help them answer these questions so that you can get them fully engaged inside the organization? The last piece I wanted to share with you are, we can have great skills, but if we fall into some very specific traps, or if there's a myth or an assumption that we believe, it can get in our way. Here's the biggest myth that I have found in working with leaders, and it's this one. I don't have time to communicate. Here's the notion that it wouldn't be valuable to spend our time coming up with a plan and to share that plan. That time would better be spent doing other things than thinking about how we're going to communicate something. How many of you cook? I love to cook. I am a clean-as-you-go kind of cook. You may be too. Recently, I was cooking with a friend of mine. Let's say she is not a clean-as-you-go kind of cook. Guess what happened? At the end of all the preparation, I looked around my kitchen. There were dirty dishes everywhere. The sink was piled high. And here I was thinking, okay, David, you'll flex your style. It'll be great learning. Never again. And I have to tell you, we sat down for the meal. the food didn't taste as good. Why? Because I knew what my kitchen looked like, and that there was a stack of dirty dishes in the sink. Well, isn't communications just like that? Isn't it amazing we always can find time to clean up messes? We always can find time in a crisis. Well, why is it that we can't find time up front to plan and be purposeful? And I think that's one of the important learnings here today. Because as we talked about, you can't not communicate. At the end of the day, communicating well should save you time and energy. It should help you move through change faster, as we talked about today. That valley of despair and moving through the 8 key questions when change happens and getting people back to being engaged. It should help you accelerate your ability to deliver on whatever the goals you have for your team. So hopefully done well, it should actually save you time, not be a time drainer, if you will. So 2 thoughts I want to leave you with. One is around practice, and we talked about that earlier. My music teacher in high school said it's not practice that makes perfect, it's perfect practice that makes perfect. And my wish, too, for you is that we each become better consumers, smarter consumers of communication, and not buy it, if you will, when things aren't working well from a communications perspective. That by stepping in, by speaking up, by asking questions, by getting involved, we literally are able to almost change the channel, if you will. That's the power or empowerment that each of us has to really make a difference inside Amway today. I wanted to share with you, in closing, just a little bit about my dad, who passed away a dozen years or so ago from cancer. It's a club I know many of us are part of, and none of us want membership in. And he spent his last couple days at a hospice, St. Mary's Hospice in Milwaukee, a wonderful place. I swear the nurses were angels. They were really amazing. And my dad wasn't very lucid in his last couple of days at the hospice, but we talked with him as if he could hear us, and I really believed that he could hear us. And I'll never forget the day the rabbi was coming to visit, and my mom leaned over my dad, and she said, "Gordy," yes, my dad's name is Gordy Grossman, she said, "Gordy, the rabbi's coming. Do you want me to take down the cross?" And I sort of paused, and all of a sudden my dad opened his eyes, and he said, "Gloria," he said, "don't touch that cross." He said, "I can use all the help I can get right now." So that is my hope for you, that I shared with you and helped you with some strategies and themes that work, that you can use, because sometimes you never know where help's going to come from. Because, of course, you can't not communicate. Thanks very much. It's great being with you.